Program is brought to you by realestate.com.au. With more homes for sale than anywhere else, realestate.com.au is Australia's #1 address in property.
Welcome back to Business Now, taking a look at this week's auctions numbers. Nationally, there'll be close to 2,500 auctions this weekend, up 20% year on year. Sydney has 784 auctions scheduled, Melbourne 1,009, that figure up 50% compared to this time last year. Brisbane will hold 109 auctions, Adelaide 116 and Canberra 79. Three Natalie Close Hornsby Heights has 4 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, and it sits on an 880 square metre block, is one of the features this weekend. The 2-storey family home is close to transport and schools. It features a well-equipped kitchen and pergola-covered area, perfect for entertaining. Number 3 Tangara Street in Southport is a bright and spacious home with 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms and 2 car spots. The home has had a new coat of paint, with the main living space featuring new flooring and extra high ceilings. This well-kept home is in a booming area close to schools and amenities. 31 Monmouth Road, Westbourne Park is a renovated Art Deco bungalow. Sitting on a 743 square metre block, it comes with an enormous garage as well as a workshop. Built in 1940, the north-facing, light-filled 4-bedroom home features high ornate ceilings, beautiful floorboards as well as traditional fireplaces. 5 Reed Place in Canberra in the ACT features 3 levels and it's flooded with natural light. With 2 separate living areas and 4 spacious bedrooms, it's perfect for a busy family. With a price guide of between $740,000 and $780,000, it's located just moments from the local village as well as nature reserve. And this week's most viewed listing is 289 Rangeview Drive, Mount George in South Australia. The home is part of the Adelaide Hills' finest modern estates, with 360-degree views on a stunning 9.5 hectares. The architecturally designed 5-bedroom, 3-bathroom residence has contemporary finishes which include imported French wallpaper in the grand lobby, Italian marble kitchen bench tops and a state-of-the-art European kitchen. And I spoke with senior economist from REA Group, Eleanor Creagh, about this week's property data, starting with the market this weekend.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me. Yeah, certainly. It does look like the auction market is picking up. Looks like October is shaping up to be the busiest month for auctions so far this year, with auction activity this week set to be around 20% higher than this same week last year.
So there's more auctions on the market. Have there been more buyers too?
So we've seen auction activity picking up in October. We've also seen the number of new listings hitting the market have also increased, with new listings volumes up 4.5% year on year nationally in September. And what's playing into this is the uplift in seller confidence. We've seen that interest rates have been on hold for the past 4 consecutive months. At the same time, we are seeing that home buying demand is stronger. So we've got that very strong rebound in net migration, very tight rental markets, all playing into a stronger demand environment. At the same time, the unemployment rate, while it has risen a little, is still pretty close to multi-decade lows. And with home prices having recovered all of last year's price falls, national prices are now up 35% on pre-pandemic levels. That means a lot of homeowners, existing homeowners, are sitting on substantial equity gains, which could be also encouraging upgrader activity. As a result, we are seeing that home buying demand is stronger, and we've seen that prices have continued to lift, with September actually marking the 9th consecutive month of national home price growth.
Now, despite the overall rise, there are significant differences between each state and territories. Can you take us through these variables?
That's exactly right. So although we have seen that new listings volumes picked up over the past year nationally, it does mask some of the differences that we're seeing in the various markets. So the rebound in new listings volumes is certainly being predominantly driven by Sydney and Melbourne, with new listings volumes up a little over 20% year on year in Sydney, a little over 10% year on year in Melbourne, and also up in Canberra too. Whereas it's a different story in the other capital city markets. In Brisbane, listings volumes are quite a bit more constrained, and actually Perth has seen the largest decline in new listings volumes over the past year in September, and they're down around 12% on last year's levels. Now this is contributing to a strong sellers market in Perth, and we've seen that buyer demand is strong in Perth, and at the same time new listings activity isn't where it needs to be to maintain the strength in buyer demand, and as a result total supply of properties listed for sale on market, so total listings volumes have declined quite significantly. They're around 25% lower than last year's levels, and they're hovering around record lows over the past few months in Perth. Now that's contributing to that strong sellers market that we're continuing to see, with prices up a further 0.7% month on month in Perth in September.
Now, as you've mentioned, listings, they're up annually. New listings nationally, though, they were down 7.1% month on month. Can you explain this to us? Why has this occurred?
Yeah, no, it might seem unusual to some, with the spring selling season traditionally the busiest time of year. And we did see that surge in properties hitting the market in August. And although we have seen that in September, nationally new listings volumes are up in comparison to last year, they are down in comparison to August. But this actually isn't quite so uncommon. When we look over the past decade, 5 out of the past 10 years have actually seen a little bit of a month-on-month decline from August relative to September. Now, there's a number of factors that play into that. There's a number of public holidays in September, grand final weekend, Labor Day in many states, which can play into a slight dip in new listings volumes in September relative to August. But clearly reflected in the auction market and the auction volumes that we're seeing scheduled for the next few weeks, it does look like October is set to come roaring back, and October is so far shaping up to be the busiest month of the year with respect to auction volumes. So we're probably going to see that although we've had that dip in new listings month on month in September, we're going to see an uplift in October, with the spring selling season really underway.
And with the uplift in October, do you think it'll have an effect on house prices?
It's an interesting one, and certainly we are seeing that, those demand-supply conditions are rebalancing a little with the uplift in the number of properties hitting the market. Now, we know that the home price recovery earlier this year was really underpinned by that subdued listing environment, which saw buyers competing for fewer properties for sale. But at the same time, we have got that stronger housing demand environment, whereby net migration has rebounded strongly, rental markets are very tight, and we've also got a shortage of new home builds as well coming to market. And I think against that backdrop, we're probably likely to continue to see home prices continuing to lift despite new listings volumes picking up.
Eleanor, Creagh, thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.